Gotta thank Yahweh for being the chosen seed of Israel. Here's the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Yah and the faith of Mashiach. Whoa, yeah. I gotta thank Yahweh for being the chosen seed of Israel. Here's the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Yah and the faith of the Mashiach. Whoa.
Shalom. So got a much needed topic that we need to cover. We're going to call this one, the psychological damage to our people is off the charts. And now many of our people are not going to accept this with a kind heart. I'm going to tell you that right now, because it's something that we need to talk about, something that needs to be brought before our people, because we are not dealing with this. And it's getting worse and worse and worse. And you know, and however you take this, it's on your own accord. And this is something you're going to have to take up with the Most High, because I made a decision a long time ago that for me and my house, I'm going to serve the Most High. I have absolutely nothing to gain financially from this, because you all know I don't have no donations on my channels. I don't ask anybody for one penny and never will. And with that being said, the scripture says, "Ye shall know them by their fruit that they bear." And so, Zion, you've had the opportunity to test every spirit that you come across, and we must continue to do so. So the subject at hand is very important. So here's the base I'm going to start off with. Why is it that we only take one step forward and then we end up taking 100 steps backwards? Why is that, Zion? You would think that after 7 captivities, all these captivities, that we would have learned our lesson by now. But you look at us right now, we're a laughingstock to the whole world. Let's go to Matthew. Go to Matthew chapter 10, and let's look at verse 28. And it reads, "And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell." We're talking about the Most High here. Now, the first part of this said, "And fear not them which kill the body." Who can kill the body? Our enemies. Our enemies have been killing us for centuries now. All this time, Zion, our enemies are constantly killing us, whether it's through diseases that they're creating, prisons that they're building, getting shot down in the streets, poisoning our water, the air. They have been running tests on our people for a long, long time. And don't think that this is no coincidence, Zion. They cannot figure out how in the world are we surviving all of this stuff. How come they cannot wipe us out? They were able to wipe the Native Americans out. They were able to wipe the Aborigine Australians out, but they cannot wipe the seed of Israel out. There's a reason for that. But yet, we as a people, we don't get it because we're fearing the wrong God. We're fearing man. Let's look at this again. Let's look at it more deeply. Matthew 10 and 28, the first part. "And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell." See, the Most High is the one we should be fearing, brothers and sisters. And that's kind of what I want to base this whole lesson on. Because our people, the reason why our people are such in a psychotic state right now is because we fear man. We don't fear the Most High. We have this power within us that the Most High has instilled in us, but we have not figured out how to use it. I mean, really, you really want to know what the greatest weapon against our people is? It's not nukes. It's not guns. It's definitely not our enemies, because what do we have to fear with our enemies when the Most High is on our side? I'm going to tell you the greatest weapon that our enemies use against us, and that's fear. Fear, fear, fear. Ever since slavery, fear. They have instilled fear in a lot of our people, and it still exists so prevalently today. That's why a lot of our people can just readily forgive the enemies that shoot them down in the streets, shoot their relatives down in the street, and just belly up, oh, I love you and I forgive you and I don't want nothing bad to happen to you. I want you to go to heaven too along with me. And that's the mindset of a lot of our people, and we know where it comes from. When the Most High snatched you out of these churches through His Spirit, you didn't know what was going on at first. You always felt something inside wasn't right. You always felt that you were being misled. You weren't being told the truth. And rightly so, that was the Spirit tugging at our hearts. Because for so long, we have been in this psychological system of Christianity and religion that has blinded our people to the complete truth. I mean, just total annihilation of everything that our forefathers lived through their heritage. And so now here we are coming out of all this madness and waking up to the truth, and we're experiencing a lot of birth pains because, you know, we just been tossed left and right, up and down, all kinds of ways, and we were badly shaken up. But many of our people are still in this stupor state of being, and unfortunately, it is what it is. Many of our people are not going to make it, and they're not going to wake up and come out of this deep sleep. Now I'm going to share a scripture I read that literally blew my mind, because it's a sad state, Zion, because many of our people are being born in vain. You know, our people are having babies just to be having babies, just to be having them, and just bringing babies into this world in vain. So let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 9. This is the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 9, and if you have your Sefer, it's going to be 4 Ezra chapter 9. And let's start with verse 20. 2nd Ezra chapter 9 and verse 20, and I got the scripture on the screen there. Verse 20. So I considered the world, and behold, there was peril because of the devices that were come into it. And I saw and spared it greatly, and have kept me a grape of the cluster, and a plant of a great people. So in other words, Zion, the Most High is going to have a remnant people. He's going to have a polished people, like it says in Zechariah 13:9, he's going to take a third through the fire. He's going to purify us. Now get this, verse 22. This is a doozy right here, because this one right here, I mean, it rocked me to the core. Verse 22, it says, let the multitudes perish then, which was born in vain. Y'all hear that? Let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain, and let my grape be kept. Wow, y'all hear that? In other words, there are going to be so many of our people that are going to die, Zion, but the Most High, out of that, He's going to keep a remnant of us. Let me read that again. Let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain. Zion, I got to read that again. Which was born in vain, and let my grape be kept, and my plant, for with great labor have I made it perfect. And so when you look at this, it it almost brings tears to my eyes, because we're going to have to witness, unfortunately, Zion, so many of our people get destroyed. And this is not something that I rejoice in or take pleasure even talking about, because it hurts my heart, Zion, because we have such a great opportunity. The Most High literally wants to give us the kingdom. He is preserving us for the kingdom, but we don't even want it. We hate his laws. We despise his laws. We don't want to do right. We constantly want to do wicked. And we fight against every grain possible against the Most High in the Spirit. And that's why our people are so destroyed. The Bible says that my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. In Hosea 6:4, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. And only if our sleeping brothers and sisters just knew what we knew, just a little taste. But the Bible says, my sheep hear my voice. And like I said before, Zion, it is what it is. Our forefathers messed up. Here we are. But we don't have to make that same mistake. We can do something about this, Zion, and we can make things right by constantly working out our salvation with fear and trembling and obeying the words of the Most High. Do we really have to make the same mistakes as our forefathers? And unfortunately, for the most part, our people are going in the same route. And Zion, and I gotta say this because I love my people, but you want to know who fights me the most when it comes to the Most High's laws? You really want to know who fights me the most? You probably guessed it, the daughters of Zion. So why are many of the daughters of Zion are fighting the Most High about his laws? I'm going to tell you why. And I don't want no daughter of Zion that is listening to take this personal or take offense to this, because it is what it is. And the reason why a lot of our women have a problem with authority is because it requires them to be in a certain mindset, to be humbled down and to be a servant not only unto the Most High, but unto their kings. And that's something that many of the daughters of Zion are not hearing right now. And a lot of them ain't trying to hear that or do that. You know, and I know somewhere down the line, you know, as the men, we lost our priesthood, and the women had to become independent, depend on themselves to take care of their own children, raise their own children. And then we started following the ways after the heathens. The heathens started telling our women, you don't need no man. You can do this on your own. You can do anything a man can do, and even better. You know, and over the years, gradually, that's how it begins. And it's to the point now where it's so bad, to the point where our brothers and sisters are they are literally fighting and warring against one another. I mean, we have been completely turned against one another, where our brothers don't want the sisters, and many of our sisters don't want the brothers anymore. We're at war with our own people, Zion, and that's so sad. And we're talking about we're ready to go home. Are you kidding me? You know how long, I mean, we are such a long ways from where we need to be, Zion, and we're talking about we're ready to go home. No, Zion, we got some serious work to do. Some serious work to do. Maybe it'll come later on. I don't know. Maybe they'll get it as time goes by. But I don't know. You know, we have to just pray for our people, brothers and sisters, because this thing is going to get worse and worse and worse. And sometimes I feel like this awakening is almost a curse to some of our people, because they want to pick and choose what they want to do. It doesn't work like that, Zion. The words of the Most High are clear, and we are to obey without question. Let me rephrase that. We are to absolutely obey the Most High without question. Bottom line, Zion, no excuses. without question. Now let's get back to the psychological state of our people and all this madness. And then I'm going to show you how we can get out of this madness. So let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 28. And how often do we read this particular verse, but never really dig into the roots of it? And that's what we're going to do today. So let's start reading at verse 28. It says, Yahuwah shall smite you with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart. Now we got three things going on here all at one. This is like a triple doozy. Shall smite you with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart. And what does all that mean? Well, let's dig deep into this. Still in Deuteronomy 28, and we're going to be here for a minute. So let's look to the Blue Letter Bible. This is what I pulled up, and this is a good online source that you can use to look up the concordance and the Greek and Hebrew words that you're studying. So let's look at verse 28. And Yahuwah shall smite thee with madness. We're going to look at madness and blindness. We're going to look at blindness. What does that really mean? And astonishment. And we're going to find out what that means. So you're going to be very, very surprised, because this is exactly what our people are experiencing today. A lot of our people. All right, so let's start with the madness. So Most High said he was going to smite his people with madness, blindness, and astonishment of heart. And when you look here, it's pretty much straightforward. You know, you got different meanings for it. You got craziness. What's going on with our people right now? Fighting over everything. Fighting over Popeye's chicken. Fighting at Denny's. Fighting at the Waffle House. Fighting over weave. Fighting over baby mama drama. Fighting over everything and anything. Just acting a plumb fool in front of the whole world. And the whole world is looking at us and just laughing. Many of our people have become so crazy, furious, just insane. And this is what this is talking about. I mean, look what's going on with our people. And we're talking about we're ready to go home. We're not even close. Not even close. And so our people continue to act like this, display this kind of behavior. When are we going to ever snap out of it? And, you know, that's why I pray for my people all the time. And I'm afraid for my people because many of our people are going to be destroyed. We're seeing that right before our very eyes. Now let's look at the word blindness. And of course, we know that this reference that's talking about blindness is talking about a spiritual blindness. So what did the word of the Most High tell us? When you look at Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 14, it says that we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro and carried about with every wind of doctrine by the sleight of men. Y'all hear that? By the sleight of men and cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait to deceive. And what's going on in our churches right now? What are they doing in our black churches? They're not in the communities. They're not helping to build businesses in the black communities. They're not teaching our black boys and girls math and science. But look what they're doing. They're dancing. They're sitting there dancing, cooning in these churches for these pastors. And these pastors are pimping them. Just all manner of evil just going on. And you ask anybody who goes to these Christian churches, what did the pastor really speak about? And they won't even be able to tell you, because the people don't even bring their Bibles to church. They just come for entertainment. That's all it's turned into, is entertainment. It's one of the biggest money marketing schemes in the world. And y'all know these churches are a multi-billion-dollar a year industry. That's all they are. And our people are turning around and love the heathens, but hate their own people with a passion. And they hate the Most High and His laws. They don't want nothing to do with the Most High and His laws. But they want to come and coon. They want to come and coon all day long, accept everybody's apology so the whole world can see how stupid we look. They'll do that all day long. But you talk about the Most High and His laws. I don't want to keep that. That's sin. That's the devil. But they love the heathens, but hate their own people and the Most High's laws. So go figure. 7 captivities. 7 captivities, and we still have not learned our lesson. Now let's look at astonishment. You know, this is right here speaks volume for itself. Astonishment, bewilderment, consternation, confusion. Why is this happening to us? Why are we in this situation? What is going on? I am so confused. And our people have no clue of what's going on around them. Just so caught up in all the latest fashions and Facebook fashions and everything that goes on, all the gossip. They can tell you everything about everybody else except for themselves. Just so much happening with our people. And I can see why. I can see it so clearly that the falling away is happening right before our very eyes. You know, people are just, minds are failing them for fear. That's our people. And so what do? We turn to violence. We turn to hating each other because we can't find a way out. But I'm going to show you the way out, Zion. It's going to be so clear. And when you start doing this, you're going to see the Most High bless you tremendously like never before. But we have to follow the ways of the Most High. See, the way this thing is, everything is governed by law, brothers and sisters, by laws, whether you like it or not. When you look at all the luminaries that the Most High created, they are governed by law. All the animals of the earth, the fish, everything are governed by law. Nature itself is governed by law. And without that law, there would be no order. And that's why we have no order within Israel, because we do not want to keep the laws of the Most High. So everything is in disarray. Everything is just chaotic. That's our people. We are very chaotic because we have no order. And when you don't have no order, everything is just chaotic. And you know what's so crazy? The animals got more sense than the sons and daughters of Zion, because you know why? They got enough sense not to be out there race mixing. We're the only ones that do that. Israel is the only people on the face of the earth that do that. No other race of people on the earth race mix like we do. You know, and the Most High was trying to teach us something through nature. You know, you don't see no blue jays mixing in with the red robins, and you don't see these different species of animals intermingling with one another. You don't see that. Only in Zion do you see that. And that's what I'm talking about, Zion. That's why I keep saying that we're in this deadly psychotic state, because it's killing us. There was a short lecture that Muhammad Ali did way back in the 70s, and I mean, even unto this day, it's still profound. So I'm going to show y'all this right quick.
Wouldn't it make more sense and cause less pain all round in the struggle for in this battle if it was integration rather than separatism? I mean, why do you reject integration?
Well, I tell you, number one, we don't want to start the people to think it wrong. We don't hate nobody. But Elijah Muhammad teaches us the truth of God that's never been taught to our people, or nobody really. He teaches us that God beautified the planet Earth by separating everybody in different countries to themselves. Chinese are in China, Englishmen in England, Puerto Ricans in Puerto Rico, Ethiopians in Ethiopia, Arabians in Arabia, Egyptians in Egypt. And the Americans took that country anyway and then stole us. So you're going to always have chaos and trouble. It's a savage country. And I understand that the worst people in England at that time were ran to America for some reason and to that part of the world. And then the slavery came and caused all the corruption. But we've been there 600 years and there ain't no peace between black and whites because the cultures are different. Like Chinese and Mexicans cannot integrate. The music is different. The eating is different.
But do you think if to ever get this sort of separate state, do you think it can be achieved bloodlessly, or do you think there will be a fight?
Well, it won't be on our part. We are taught that it's impossible for us to be violent with the most powerfulest military country on the planet. America's awful powerful. She makes all the guns, all the machines, all the bullets, taught us how to shoot the guns. And it's totally impossible for 30 million black people to be violent against 170 million. We need a mental revolution, unity and coming together, and not physical. So when he says separation, what he's saying is that black people must do something for themselves and not always beg white people to move in their neighborhoods, but clean their own neighborhoods. And another thing, when you say integration, it comes under intermarriage too, right? All
Right.
being together.
Right, sure.
And I'm sure no intelligent white person watching this show, or no intelligent white man in his or her right white mind, want black boys and black girls marrying their white sons and daughters, and in return introducing their grandchildren as half-brown, kinky-haired black people.
I
I'm sure
I wouldn't object to that.
Well, you wouldn't, but a lot of them would.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people.
And
No, this is the point.
what I'm
that-
trying to say is this. And you don't have it. You say you don't, but you don't have it. You really ain't gonna have it. You on the show, and you got to say that. But
That's not true.
why would you want to do that?
Because
Don't you
I
love
don't
yourself?
think I'm any different from you. You see,
Yeah, we much different.
I mean,
Let's
I
face
think
it, man.
society's
You know-
made us
You know
different.
we're different, and we all together.
society's made us different.
different. No, not society. God made us different.
No, we're just human beings. He made all of us.
We all listen. Bluebirds fly with bluebirds. Red birds want to be with red birds. Listen. Tell me when I'm wrong. Pigeons want to be with pigeons.
But we
Tell
have
me when I'm
intelligence.
wrong. Well,
We have an
we
intellect
must.
that they
Well, we
don't
should have.
have.
Right, they don't have intelligence, but yet
No.
they stay together. We should have more intelligence than them, right? Buzzards are with buzzards. Right? Buzzards are with buzzards. Bluebirds are with bluebirds. They all are birds, but they got different cultures. The eagles like to hang out in the mountains. The buzzard like to fly around the desert.
Well, there
the
is certain-
bluebird like to fly around the trees
There'd
and
be
the
certain
grass.
problems. A buzzard mating with a sparrow, wouldn't there?
What?
There'd be certain.
Right. And that's,
I
we
mean-
have the problems too.
No,
I don't see no black and white couples in England or America walking around proud holding their children
That's because society
and going out.
That's society's fault. I mean, we've got to educate people around it.
Well, life is too short for me to be raised catching hell for something like that. I'd rather go and be my own. I have a beautiful daughter, beautiful wife. They look like me. We're all happy, and I don't have no trouble.
Now, one thing that Muhammad Ali said that was so profound was that God made us different. Now, I cannot tell you how true that is. So let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 7. And let's look at verse 6. This is the one you should all know so well. It says, "For you are a holy people unto Yahuwah. Yahuwah has chosen you to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth." Let me read that last part again. Has chosen you to be a special. We're not acting like a special people right now, Zion. We're acting like a bunch of fools. He says, has chosen you to be a special people unto himself, above all people. Above all people. We did not write this, Zion. This was written a long time ago because the Most High had already chosen his people. Has chosen you to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Zion, we need to start acting like it. Because I'm telling you right now, if we don't start being set apart like we're supposed to be, and the way we do that is by getting back to the Most High in these laws, commandments, and statutes, we're not going to make the kingdom. There's no way that you can slide in or try to squeeze your way in without bypassing these laws, Zion. You cannot do it. These laws are strictly the commands of the Most High, his word. And so we know that the Bible says that the two greatest commandments is to love the Most High with all your heart, soul, and might. That means keeping his laws. Yes, that means obeying and observing the feast days. And then it says to love your brother as yourself. We don't even do those two things. We say we do. We say we only have to keep the two commandments, but Zion, majority of our people don't even do that. Not even a lot of the awakened ones. The ones who are so-called claim to be awake, they don't even keep the two greatest commandments because they still put the heathens before our Elohim and they hate the laws. But they want to bring this Christianity mess all into this awakening. Now I'm going to show you through the words of the Most High, his holy scriptures that was written through his prophets by the Spirit, through his Ruach, to give unto his people. I'm going to show you how we can turn this madness around and come out of this crazy, deadly psychological state and we can start to rise, Zion. And I want you to pay close attention because I'm going to show you straight from the scriptures what we need to do, what we must do in order to turn this thing around, because we have no other choice. And there's no picking or choosing in this, Zion. Whether you like it or not, we all going to have to answer before the Most High. So get your pens ready because I want you to pay close attention to these scriptures. All right, let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes. The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12. And I'll have the scriptures here at the bottom. Chapter 12, and let's look at verse 13. Let's look at what this says. It says, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahuwah and keep his what? Commandments. For this is the whole duty of man. Are y'all hearing what this is saying? For this is the whole duty of man. Can't get around this. Let's get some more witnesses. All right, let's go to Psalms chapter 40. And let's look at verse 8. That's going to be Psalms chapter 40 and verse 8. And it says, I delight to do thy will, O my Yahuwah. Yea, thy law is within my heart. All right, let's go to Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy chapter 6 and 25. And it says, and it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments. It didn't say some of them, Zion. It said all these commandments. Do you see, where do you see the word some? Where do you see the word pick or choose? If we observe to do all these commandments before Yahuwah, our Elohim, as he hath commanded us, that's what we must do, Zion. And you can read the rest of it. All right. Let's go to Joshua. Joshua chapter 1, and let's look at verse 8. Joshua chapter 1 and verse 8. And just write these down because I'm just going to go through the scriptures. I'm not going to have these scriptures up right here. So just make sure you write them down. That's why I'm repeating the scriptures. If you got to stop the video and go back, that's fine too. So Joshua, the book of Joshua chapter 1, and let's look at verse 8. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but shall thou meditate therein day and night, and that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. Y'all hear that? For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. Yeah, I don't care what you do, Zion. Until you get back to these laws, commandments, and statutes, you can hang it up. You're not going to be blessed. And that's coming from the book of Joshua chapter 1, and also you can read Psalms chapter 1 as well. All right, let's get some more. I mean, there's a lot, and so many I probably won't even get a chance to cover. Let's look at Proverbs chapter 28 and verse 9. Proverbs chapter 28 and verse 9. Again, that's going to be the book of Proverbs chapter 28 and verse 9. It says, he that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be an abomination. Y'all hear that? That's Proverbs 28, 9. He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be an abomination. That's serious, Zion. I mean, that's nothing to play with. But here we are wanting to follow the laws of man so easily and so willfully. But when it comes to the laws of the Most High, we don't want nothing to do with it. Absolutely nothing. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 5. Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 5. And it says, and thou shalt love the Most High with all thine heart. Y'all hear that? And with all thy soul and with all thy might. Now, can we do that perfectly? Absolutely not. But we do it with all our might and all our soul. And that's how we do absolutely the best we can with these laws, Zion. It says, love the Most High with all your heart, your soul, and your might. It's the only way. And this is one of my favorites right here. So let's go to the book of Jasher. The book of Jasher, chapter 13 and verse 4. The book of Jasher, 13 and 4. Make sure you're writing these down, because it's going to be up to us, Zion, to dig for these scriptures. It's coming to a time where, you're not going to have these videos. We're not going to have all this stuff, this technology that we got, that we can just click on a button and here we are at a video. All that's going to be going away soon. Let's look at the book of Jasher, chapter 13 and verse 4. It says, and now, therefore, if you will hearken to my voice and guard my commandments, my statutes, and my Torah, then will I cause your enemies to fall before you, and I will multiply your seed like the stars of heaven, and I will send my blessings upon all the works of your hands, and you shall lack nothing. Didn't we read that a little earlier, something like that? Zion, this is powerful. We have no idea. The Most High wants to give us everything, but we have to obey his laws. Let's go to the book of Enoch. Enoch 98 and verse 2. It says, woe to you who change the words of integrity. They transgress against the eternal Torah. Y'all hear that? The eternal Zion. All right. Let's go back to Jasher, chapter 90 this time. The book of Jasher, chapter 90. That's Jasher, chapter 90 and verse 34. It says, now therefore strengthen yourselves to guard and to do all the words of the Torah of Moshe, not to deviate from it to the right or to the left. Now, let me touch on that, because a lot of people say, well, this is the law of Moshe. No, the Most High gave the law unto Moshe to give to the people. So technically it's not the law of Moshe as people say it. It's the law of the Most High, but it was given to Moshe to give to the people, and that's just been adapted throughout the scriptures. But people try to make it seem like Moses sat in the corner somewhere and just wrote his own stuff. No, the Most High gave him everything. All right? I'm going to finish reading. And not to come amongst those nations who are left in the land, neither shall ye make mention of the name of their Elohim, but ye shall cleave to Yahuwah, as you have done to this day. We are not to deviate it from the right or to the left, Zion. It's plain and simple. All right, let's look at Isaiah, the book of Isaiah chapter 8. The book of Isaiah chapter 8, and let's look at verse 20. Isaiah 8 and 20. It says, to the Torah and to the testimonies, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. You got a lot of Hebrews that can talk smooth and try to weave their way out of saying you don't have to keep the laws, but the judgment will come, and I feel sorry for them, because I don't want to be in their shoes when the Most High judgment rains down. All right, let's get some more. Let's get some more witnesses. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 6 and verse 19. Jeremiah chapter 6 and verse 19. It says, hear, O earth, behold, I will bring evil upon this people, even the fruit of their thoughts, because they have not hearkened unto my words, nor to my Torah, but rejected it. And I guarantee you, Zion, all this foolishness that we seeing out here with our people, all the fighting, the madness, I guarantee you they ain't keeping no laws, especially the laws of the Most High. I guarantee you. All right. So let's get some more. Let's go to the book of Tobit. The book of Tobit, chapter 14 and verse 9. That's the book of Tobit, chapter 14 and verse 9. It says, but guard the Torah and the commandments, and show yourself merciful and just, that it may go well with you. Y'all hear that? That it may go well with you. We are to guard the Most High's words, Zion. We ought to guard them. All right. Let's go to the book of Baruch. First Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 1. That is the book of Baruch, chapter 1. And First Baruch, chapter 4. The book of Baruch, First Baruch, chapter 4, and starting with verse 1. It says, "This is the sefer of the commandments of Elohim and the Torah that endures forever. That endures forever. All they that guard it shall come to life." You hear that? "All they that guard it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die." What's happening to our people right now, Zion, on the streets? They're dying. They're dying all around us. All right, let's go to Second Baruch. Second Baruch, and I'm coming from the Sefer here. Second Baruch, chapter 38 and verse 2. It says, "Your Torah is life, and your wisdom is right guidance." That's Second Baruch, chapter 38 and verse 2. I mean, Zion, we can go on and on and on. It's so many. So many. All right, so let's go to Psalms, the book of Psalms 112. The book of Psalms 112 and verse 1. It says, "Blessed is the man that fears Yahuwah, that delights greatly in his commandments." That delights. And the Bible says that his commandments are not grievous, Zion. We are to delight in his commandments. That's why, and I enjoy when the feast days come around, because it's the only thing that we have we can claim as ours. Why would you want to worship Christmas and Halloween and New Year's and Thanksgiving and Mother's Day and Valentine's Day and all these crazy holidays? Why do you want to worship that when the Most High gave us feast days specifically for us to keep within our own brothers and sisters? But no, you don't want that. You don't want what the Most High gave you. It's just like when the Most High rained down manna for his people, when he rained down a double portion. Our people were to gather a double portion, but then you still had Hebrews going out there on the Shabbat gathering up manna, and they were destroyed for it. So our people are something else, Zion. So we got to get it together. And the only way that we're going to come out of this psychological state, Zion, is we got to get back to these laws, commandments, and statutes. There's no other way around it. You can sit and wait for the Most High to return, but if you're not obeying his word, Zion, you're doing everything in vain. You might as well just exit this faith, because you're not in it anyway. You're just in it to be in it. And so we got a long ways to go, Zion. We have a lot of work to do. So don't be surprised to look up and we're still here for a while, Zion. And I'm not trying to throw a wrench in your pipe dreams, but it is what it is. And reality is reality, Zion. We got to get ourselves together, because we're a long ways from it. Got a lot of work to do, but we can make that happen. We can do that if we obey the voice of the Most High, Zion. We didn't have to travel 40 years. We didn't have to wander 40 years in the wilderness. It was only a 4-day journey, but we did this to ourselves. So here we are. The ball's in your court now, Zion. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? So with that being said, I'm going to say shalom and stay strong.
Here's the passion of the saints. Here are they to keep the commandments of the Yah and the faith of the Mashiach. Hey, whoa. I'm here to encourage you, brothers and sisters, trying to paint to you a better picture. Everything I say, I back it up with the scriptures to get you out the matrix. It's been over 400 years of lies. You gotta open up your eyes, 'cause there's so many reasons we in captivity. You gotta flee from the heathens. There is hope in our future, even though they trying to do us in. But we live to fight another day. Vengeance is Yah. We'll be praying for Yahuwah. I gotta thank Yahuwah for being the chosen seed of Israel. Here's the patience of the saints. Whoa. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Yah, commandments of the Yah, and the faith of Mashiach. Whoa, 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 yeah, yeah. I gotta thank Yahweh for being the chosen seed of Israel. Israel. Here's the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Yah, and the faith of the Mashiach. Oh, oh, hey, hey, whoa, whoa, do do da da da, do we do we do we do da da, do we do 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 da da, do 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 da do, be do da do 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 da 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 da, do we do 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 da 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 da.